Meet Miss Shehzhadee.
What makes you want to be a lawyer?
I never wanted to be a lawyer.
Oh, really?
I was always a science math student. I never imagined myself to be a lawyer because I'm an introvert. I don't like to really speak. So that's something that most people do not realize. They always think that lawyers are born speakers. I can speak in court, but if I socialize outside, I get tired.
Just like Makcik Tri lah. That's very draining.
But I do enjoy my job now. And I just explored the option of lawyering after my A-levels. And even while I was on that journey, there were times when I had reservations, like, is this really the thing for me, right? But I think along the way, then I realized that actually, I think I like what I'm doing. Early years as a lawyer, I was exposed to different areas of law. I do practice from criminal to sharia to family to a vast area. So it keeps things interesting. So for example, let's say I'm assisting a company in a construction dispute, right? So I learned about the technicalities. I look at drawings. And then sharia is a different skill set. When you do criminal matters, it's a different skill set.
Apa tu maknanya you have to pass your bar tu apa? I selalu dengar
Bukan drinking.
Apa tu?
It's just a name for the major exam that you have to pass before you become a qualified lawyer. But other than passing the bar, you also have to go through a stipulated training period at certain law firms.
How do you take your first case?
The first case I ever did was a personal injury langgar matter. That was the first time I ever entered court. But my boss was there. I prepared and scripted and rehearsed until I remember that. I even wrote down on a piece of paper. I wrote my name in case I forgot my name. Along the way, then I was like, actually aku tahu jugalah. Tak bodoh sangat lah. Tahu jugalah. After a while, then you just know it, and then you read up on the law, you go to court enough times, over 10 years plus, enough. Banyak kali.
Then when you go to court, betul ke kena pakai coat tu yang hitam tu?
Yeah, black and white. Black and white, yeah. That's in court lah.
Judge masih pakai yang warna purple.
I think in UK lah, that is every time I see the US shows kan, macam, they do so glam.
Yeah, that's why.
I'm like black and white, macam uniform. I think there was once I went out from home very early in the morning. I think I got ready in the dark, so I made tudung purple instead of tudung black. Then I reached office and I wasn't even looking at myself. That time was COVID period. Got Zoom. I was like, tudung purple.
Okay.
So thankfully I had a colleague who also wore tudung. I said, pinjam.
I love watching Lincoln Lawyer.
Lincoln.
So good.
Not so glamorous. We don't all live in penthouses. I always find this scene very funny because I've seen it across a few law shows where like the lawyer will say, I have an affidavit in my hand. Then the affidavit satu page je. Affidavit is like witness statement.
Habis tak pernah satu page.
Mana ada witness statement satu page? Beratus-ratus ada lah. Suddenly from the pocket, I have an affidavit. I'm like, bedek.
So what makes you want to open up your own firm?
So I've been in practice 10 years plus. When I hit the 7-year plus mark, by then my daughter was about 2 years plus. I wanted to be in a position where I could work my time around her a little bit more, have a bit more time with her. On a weekday, if it's a school holiday, at least I know that, okay, lunchtime I take her out. The other reasons will also be that as Muslims there are ways that I think we use what skills we have to be able to help the community. And I never realized it as much when I was working for somebody else than when I started my own, when I had a bit more mental bandwidth when I was in my own firm. Then I started thinking like, okay, every single thing as a Muslim lawyer you do, it's part of who you are as a Muslim and your contribution. So for example, like when I draft wills for my Muslim clients, I will encourage them. I say, if you can, give a small percentage to a masjid or something, because that will continue for you after. So like I try to see how, how my practice, and try to link it back to the religion, because it's part of it, right? Opening my own firm and all, it has brought a different depth of thinking in terms of the way I practice itself. Even when I do grant of letters of administration or grant of probate, which is the application, basically you are getting a court order after somebody passed away. So after someone passed away, you cannot suka-suka, oh, my mother passed away, I know her ATM number, I withdraw money. Cannot, I know people do that, but by right, you're supposed to get a proper court order.
Oh, really?
Yes, if there's a will, the court order that you get is called grant of probate. If no will, it's called grant of letters of administration. Okay, the only exception where you don't have to get this, you apply to public trustee for them to administer. And usually if like the value of the assets is very small, below 50,000. Kalau ada HDB flat, for sure will exceed that 50,000, right?
Correct.
So most people, they exceed that because at the very least there's a flat, right? When I do these things, then I'm like, I say, okay, this is helping somebody, a fellow Muslim family, distribute their assets to benefit the next generation. The reason I actually like enjoy it, and I realized that it's through this career that I've met so many people, so many personalities. I learned so much. I have met with clients who suffer from all sorts of mental illnesses, from Asperger's syndrome to schizophrenia to really severe ADHD to all sorts of things. After that, I read up more on it to be able to help them. So for example, if I represent somebody who has committed a crime, but they have a mental illness, because people don't usually feel like, oh, I wake up one day, I want to be a criminal, right? Something happened somewhere. Maybe it's circumstances. Of course, there are some people who are, intrinsically. I think by and large, it's circumstantial, something to do with the mind, a mental illness. So I become more aware. So I'm able to see the signs as well, like what is this person suffering from and how can I treat that particular client. I need to be more sensitive to how I treat that client. But let's say I have clients who have been brought up in circumstances that by parents who have been in and out of prison. It is a reality, right? And then it makes me realize that, what are the things that I can do to help them, right? Get out of this cycle. It's not easy to break out when that's the only life you've ever known. All you see is your parents. There's always some level of dysfunction, right? So I think as a whole, it makes me more aware, meeting people, and I think I wouldn't trade this.
So if they want to find out more, they can also comment on the post what topic they want to. So we get to know more about them, we can ask her.
Shehzhadee from Shehzhadee Law Corporation.
You can also contact her lah. Nanti kita letak semua details.